Hi everyone, so let's take a look at the neon pothos. This is a pothos cultivar from the Epiprenum family, which is going to be similar to the golden pothos or devil's ivy or the marble queen pothos, both of which I have care guide videos on if you would like to watch those, as well as propagation guides, so I'm not going to be discussing propagation in this video for the sake of repeating myself. So you are going to care for your neon pothos very similarly to how you would care for a golden pothos. As for light requirements, the majority of your pothos are going to be low light adaptive plants or low light tolerant. However, if you really want to allow these plants to thrive and push out the most amount of foliage, I would definitely recommend putting them in a bright and direct light situation and avoiding bright direct light, as you may scorch their subtropical foliage. So light is pretty straightforward. Bright and direct light is going to be best a few feet away from a south-facing window or closer to a north-facing window would definitely be appropriate. As for watering requirements, the majority of pothos are drought tolerant as well, and they will display obvious signs of dehydration, which will be your indication that you need to give these plants a water. So if you see the foliage start to droop or shrivel up at all, that would be an indication that it needs a good drink of water. I would definitely err on the side of caution with watering. The majority of your houseplants, you don't want to overwater them. Definitely look for the signs of dehydration, if applicable, before watering your plants again, because you don't want to keep a lot of moisture around the root system and potentially have any kind of mold, bacteria growth, or any kind of rot or anything like that. So the epiprenums are actually climbing plants in their native environments. You can find a lot of these like in southern Florida and things, climbing up trees, and the foliage actually gets huge whenever they're climbing. So you can choose to use this plant as a trailing basket plant and have it hanging or trailing down, or you can use any kind of pothos as a climbing plant as well. So I've seen people stake these up on like a wooden plank or a sphagnum moss pole or something like that, and that will definitely increase the size of the foliage and just create for a different look as well if you're looking for more of a vertical kind of space-filling plant rather than a hanging basket plant, depending on the space that you're in. As for humidity and temperature, I would definitely recommend keeping all of your epiprenums around the same temperature range, no lower than 60 degrees ideally, and no warmer than like 85. So, you know, normal houseplant temperatures are perfectly fine. And as for humidity, I would definitely keep it a little bit higher. Somewhere in the 40s would be optimum. Because these are subtropical plants, they are going to benefit from some more humidity. Whereas a lot of your houseplants really are going to benefit from higher humidity because a lot of the ones that we see are subtropical species or cultivars, so they will like a bit more humidity. As for pests, epiprenum are relatively hardy plants. They're not very susceptible to pests, so it's not really something that you should have to worry about much at all. I would definitely recommend cleaning off your foliage every once in a while, which will allow the most amount of light in and get rid of any dust or pests that could be on the leaves. And for fertilizing your epiprenum, I would absolutely recommend using a fertilizer that's a little bit higher in the nitrogen content, and that is because the foliage-rich plant is going to prefer more nitrogen because of all of the foliage. If you're interested in more of kind of an in-depth understanding of fertilizer, I do have a fertilizer guide that's on the lengthy side that kind of delves into demystifying fertilizer and really understanding all of the different ratios and purpose for fertilizer and things like that. So yeah, super easy houseplant to care for, very forgiving, very hardy as well. Definitely one of the more popular ones. And like I said, if you want to see any kind of propagation for the neon pothos, I would just recommend watching my marble queen pothos or my golden pothos propagation videos, and you're going to do the same exact thing just with your neon pothos. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Pretty straightforward plant, pretty easy to care for as well. All right, everyone, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.